Welcome back to another video of SnapExcel, and today we'll be talking about the COUNTIF and the SUMIF. The COUNTIF function is used when you want to find out how many cells in your worksheet contains a cell value that meets your criteria. It just basically counts the number of cells within the range that is based on your criteria that you will set on your formula. Its syntax is just the COUNTIF, your range, and criteria. So that's very simple. The range is where the criteria will be evaluated, and the criteria is anything that you want to be observed or you want to set. So let's dive into the example. It's very easy how to use the COUNTIF. So here we have a list here of blue, green, and red cells. Text that contains the color, right? So our statement is how many red, blue, and green balls are there in the list. So we have summarized the colors here, and basically what we want to do is to count these cell values based on this criteria. So our range will be this, and our criteria will be your cells here. Alright, so let's go ahead and type in the actual formula. Alright, to start off, equal sign, and our function COUNTIF. So there you are seeing the syntax that we need to follow. Our COUNTIF, our range will be from here to here. Oops. So that will be B11 to B22. And let's use the criteria. Your criteria is actually these cells, right? But if you want to do a manual thing, you can use your quotation and then type in red, something like that, right? But in this example, let's it's easier to if you will set the criteria based on the cell values as well, so you can just simply drag the formula down. All right, so let's do that. So our criteria is red, that's on B, cell B6. Hit enter. There you go. And let's drag the formula down so we can copy the formula to blue and green. Alright, so hey, wait, our range is, something is wrong here. We need to lock the cells because we are using one list only, right? And we have to fix that, and to have it fixed, we need to lock that selection by highlighting your range and then hitting your F4. So that means that the cell is locked. So when you copy the formula, it will not change. It will be the same range. All right. So there, it's very easy how to use the COUNTIF. So let's evaluate the formula. So the function is COUNTIF, and our range is this B11 to B22, and our criteria is B6, which is the red. So what it does is it actually counted how many red balls are there in our list. So let's just count it. Red 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's the same number that's reflected by the formula. All right, And how about the blue? So we have 5 here, so let's check that quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and the green, 1, 2, 3. So that's very easy. Since we have the COUNTIF function, you actually don't need to count or maybe filter this. Maybe do that. So you don't need to do that anymore because you actually have the COUNTIF formula right here. All right. Okay, so when using the COUNTIF, the range is actually not just on vertical. Actually, you can set your count range to a table like this. Let's just copy here like this. So when you change your formula, you can actually drag it like that, and your formula will still function. Alright, so we have 12 red from the list, and 15 blue, and 9 green. So again, we don't need to manually count it, but since we have a useful function which is the COUNTIF, we can easily count how many cells that or cell value that we are trying to look based on our criteria. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. It's very easy how to use the COUNTIF function. Now let's go ahead and jump into the SUMIF. The SUMIF function is used when you want to perform summation of the cell values that meets your specific criteria. So it just basically add the cells, all right, based on what you will set on your formula. Our syntax is SUMIF, range, criteria, and sum range. Your range is basically the range where the criteria will be evaluated. Criteria is the one that you want to express or what you want to set in your formula, either a number, expression, or any cell value or text. And then the difference here from the COUNTIF is it has the sum range. All right, and later on the examples we will explain that. So the sum range is the number range that you want to add on your formula. So let's go ahead and start with the example. So we have a table here similar to what we have on the COUNTIF example. We have the red, blue, and green balls, but on the SUMIF we have given numbers here already. All right, so what we would like to do is to give a summary of the total balls per color. So on COUNTIF, we are counting how many cells are there based on our criteria, but now what we are doing is we are making a sum of the numbers based on the criteria that we will set. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So our formula, our function is SUMIF. Our range is this will be the range of your criteria that you want to evaluate. All right, so your range will be here. That will be in A11 and A22. A11 to A22, comma, our criteria is B6 or the red, and our sum range will be here. All right, make sure that the range is the range of your the height of your range is the same as your sum range to avoid error in your formula. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So we have our range that is A11 to A22. Our criteria is B6, or the value red, and our sum range is B11 to B22. So let's just hit enter. We forgot to lock it. So when we are locking it, we're fixing the range, right? So we can copy the formula down without any error. Okay, so that's it. So we have 78. Let's copy this. So we have 78 red, we have 109 blue balls, we have 62 green balls. Now let's make a quick sum. Let's filter red. So when you sum that, it's 78. Alright, that's 78. And yeah, let's do it. Same for blue. 109. 109. And oops. And for green, that's a total of 62. 62. Alright, so that's easy as well. What's difference is the difference between the SUMIF and the COUNTIF is on SUMIF you have the sum range, but on the COUNTIF you just have, you know, any cell that you want to count. All right, so just going back here, definitely we're able to perform a quick sum, or give a summary of these criteria on our table. All right, so that's just quick. That's how you use your SUMIF function. So some common errors are actually the range and the sum range is not with the same height, or they are not equal. So let's try to do that. Let's remove this first. For example, we're trying to count the red, but we accidentally type a different row, sum range, or we highlighted a different range than your sum range. So as you can see here, that the sum range is kind of not the same height, right? So let's try that. So it gave us 81, but when we count, when we get the sum of all the red balls, it should be 78, but the formula that we put in is giving us 81. Now we know it's wrong, right? And let's find out why. So as you can see that the table is not the same. It should be like this, right? But since the table is kind of like not really offset, yeah, offset, yeah. It's counting the row from the start of your table, right? So on our range, the red is from 1 to 3 rows from your first table, right? So it will also be followed by your sum range. So if you have this kind of example, what Excel will do is count or get a sum of the associated value from the same row reference. So in this case, since on your left table we have 1 2 3 for red, and it will count this 1 2 3, and it will get this instead of this, right? So let's try that. So it's counting this red, this one as well, red, and this, and another one here. So since uh, the sum range is not matching with the range, it's incorrectly counting or getting the sum of your values, right? So if we sum all these, then we are getting 81, which is the same as here, right? But the formula is giving you incorrect count or sum, because you have an error in your formula, right? Again, that the rule for SUMIF is you should have the same height of the range and the sum range. So it should be like this. It will give you 78, and that is the right answer for this. All right, so there you have it. That's actually how quickly we can explain the SUMIF and also the COUNTIF in less than 16 minutes or 17 minutes. So we're good. If you have any questions, you can put a comment on our video on our channel as well. And if you like it, if the video is useful to you, don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified for future videos that we will show on our channel. So I see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.